If history is any guide, then the answer is no. And yes. When I look at what is happening today, I think of the early 1970s. That was a radical time when old ways were under threat and new radical ways seemed to be on the march everywhere. It was so bad that many on the right thought that communism would win. But that didn't happen. Neither did many of the radical ideas that were being pushed. Many of those ideas were never going to work, and so they failed. Others simply fizzled out. You see, the revolution is hard to keep moving, and if it stops, it loses its momentum. So why does it lose momentum? Because it requires a passion that's hard to keep up over time. People lose their passion, no matter what this passion is for. Ordinary people want civil peace, and that is one reason why they go along with crazy ideas, anything to keep the peace. But over time they start to doubt that this is leading to civil peace. They start to think that there's too much passion involved, and it starts to turn them off. They aren't critics, they simply stop caring and then pretend that they never believed in this crazy stuff at all. The true believers, what we today call the woke, also lose their passion. They were promised something. They were told that just across the hill is a better world, one that they can bring into being, that they are the midwife of a whole new paradigm. What happens when that fails to arrive? In the 1970s, it led to disillusionment and disconnection. The revolution that was planned failed to appear. Sure, some stayed loyal, but most left, and they moved on to leading more or less normal lives. However, what also happened was that they moved the Overton window further left. Feminism was now mainstream, as was environmentalism, but not everything stayed. Pacifism lasted for about a decade and then shuffled away. It failed to remain a mainstream idea. This pattern is clear in the French Revolution as well as other times. The transformation that is promised fails to arrive. People lose their passion and move on, but ideas that were once considered extreme remain. That will be true today as well. Transgenderism will, over the next decade, retreat from schools and the young, but it will remain unacceptable within the mainstream to question that it's real or valid, which means that in the future it will return in a more virulent form. That will be the civil peace that most agree with. However, it's not our job to maintain the civil peace. It's our job to return sanity, even if that requires conflict. The revolution that is being pushed will fail, but it will leave some formerly extreme ideas in the mainstream. If history is any guide, then that's how it will work out.